Early morning, time to rise, no sleep. Radio's humming with the funky beat. Sun is shining, Rachel brings the heat. Wake up, CEO, we're on repeat. Chicago, Sun Up City on the go. Rachel L. Gary on the radio. Tune in quick, hear the power flow. Wake up, CEO, it's your daily show. Wake up, start the day with CEO. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. From the Windy City, bringing major vibes. Rachel on the mic, keeping lives revived. Radio Chicago, where dreams arise. Wake up, CEO, to the skies. No more snooze button, no more delay. Rachel's voice making waves today. Feel the energy Chicago way. Wake up, CEO, rise and sway. Wake up, start the day with CEO. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. Wake up, start the day with CEO. Hey, Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill.
This is Dr. Carolyn Stevens, the CEO of the BHC Media Group. And when you are looking for a strategy for self-leadership, get aligned with Wake Up CEO with host Rachel L. Gary every Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m.
You know what time it is? Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, my Radio Chicago, Rachel L. Gary in the building. Wake up, CEO, let's go! Wake up, go Sam, set that tone. Wake up, every step you take, you claim that throne. Wake up, no more doubt, no time to stall. Wake up, boss up now, go get it on. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up, I ain't waiting, now I go and take it. Built this from the ground, no way they break it. Consistency, my secret, watch me make it. Got that boss talk, nah I ain't faking no. Lost, set the goal, now I'm grabbing the goal. And put in the work, now I'm taking control. The vision so clear, yeah I already know. Every step I take, I'm ready to blow. Wake up, set that tone. Every step you take, you claim that throne. No more doubt, no time to stall. You boss up now, go get it all. Let's go, stay locked in, make it happen. Make it happen. Let's go, stay locked in, make it happen. Make it happen. No handouts, yeah I made my way. Built my brand, now I paid my lane. Turn my losses into lessons. Now my grind got no recession. Yeah, they talk about chance, but I make my own. Yeah, I ain't waiting for fate, got a future to own. Yeah, every setback, just part of the game, gay game. But now I'm up and they know my name. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in. Wake up. Success so sexy, put the work in flexi. Late nights, no rest, but now my vision's hefty. They doubted, they laughed, now they watch from the back. Cause I turned every dream into bricks that stack. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, make it happen. Wake up, stay locked in, go get it all. Every Wednesday, 3 to 5, my Radio Chicago. Rachel L. Gary taking you to the top. Boss Every Wednesday, 3 to 5.
Hey there, hey there, hey there, CEOs. Welcome to Wake Up CEO with your host, Rachel L. Gary, right here on My Radio Chicago. Thank you guys for checking in today. And you know, my mission is simple here on Wake Up CEO. It's to speak candid truth to empower your inner CEO. It's that one that is clear in your actions, empowered by your choices, and owning your direction. That's CEO of your life. And you know what we do on Wake Up CEO. We dive right in. So I want you guys to first stay locked in to the power statement of the day. Also, the Author's Corner that is powered by Distinguished Authors Guild. We have special guests, Shabiria Shine, author of Single and Satisfied, The Single Woman's Guide to Fulfillment. She's going to be right here on Wake Up CEO. We also have the Leadership 3-Point Pele that's powered by Say I'm Possible Academy, where self-leadership gets GPS. Also, we're going to have special guests, CEO of the Professional Hoops Association, Lewis Shine, right here on Wake Up CEO. Guys, you're not going to want to miss the show, so stay locked in. You know what we're going to do? We're going to dive right in to the power statement of the day. You don't win awards by luck. You win them by building a legacy. And don't forget, guys, make sure you answer the question of the day. And the question of the day is, when was the last time you clapped for you? I want you guys to think about that. When is the last time you did some real celebration of you? You know what that pause means, CEOs? That pause means take that in, be prepared. And if you're new to Wake Up CEO, I pause to give you opportunity to let that sink in so you can have an opportunity to think to yourself, am I really? And whatever that follows after that. So we want to make sure that we are locked in to part one of the show is about being clear, having that moment of clarity. And today's show is all about, I want to make sure I don't look over that. It's how to get your Lifetime Achievement Award. That's what we're talking about today. How do you get your Lifetime Achievement Award? That's why I want to know if you clapped it up for yourself. When is the last time you said, hey, I've done a good job at A, B, and C? When's the last time you said, man, I was on point for the thing that I did that day? Are you celebrating you? If not, let's get clear so we can get to celebration. So the Lifetime Achievement Award, you know what it looks like. We have to figure out what it looks like for you, because everybody's Lifetime Achievement Award isn't going to be the same. They're not going to have the same ideas, the same end goals. They're not even going to have the same type of appreciation for themselves as you will have for you. So the first part is being clear about what an achievement award looks like for you. So we're talking about defining what achievement looks like. What's the terms of achievement to you? Because sometimes we have these far-reaching, these far-fetched things that we want to do first, as opposed to if your all-time achievement is that, I'll use my book for instance, #Poverty to Six Figures. My goal is to achieve selling 5,000 copies in the next 6 months. So that is the overarching goal. So I want to make sure you jump into the chat. Thanks for chiming in with us. We got Shree Sloan from Highly Productive Chicago on with us saying hello, CEOs. So I want you guys to get checked in, get locked in. So if my goal for selling 5,000 books is the Lifetime Achievement Award for that particular goal, I'm defining those terms. So what does your goal look like right now? Now, remember, the goal is going to change, because as you become more proficient in what you do and how you show up, you're going to change on the things that you're going to like and the things you're not going to like. It's just inevitable. That's how things work. as you learn more. So it goes this way. When you were in kindergarten, your achievement was to not eat the paste. That was the achievement in kindergarten. We didn't want to eat the paste. So that was the most important thing, not eating the paste. So when you achieve that every day, that's a celebration. You won. You didn't eat the paste. Or as once you got to second grade, you were learning your timetables. And when you got through all the zeros, because we all started out with them zeros. 0 times 1 is 0. Get to the bottom. 0 times 10 is 0. And then you get to the 1s, the 2s, the 12s, and then you're able to recite those timetables without paper. That was an achievement. I want to make sure that we get back to the roots of achievement. Because just because we became adults doesn't mean that now we have to wait until we've accomplished grander goals. Those small things still matter. Those small things still matter. It matters if I say I'm trying to sell 5,000 books. If today I sold 10, that matters. 10 times 30 days is how many copies, guys? That's 300 copies. And at 300 copies times 6 months, that's 1,800 copies. So that means I would have to get production up to 20 copies a day. But if I accomplish the small win and you celebrate that, tomorrow you are already encouraged for the next set of wins. So that's what I mean by, have you defined what achievement looks like to you? Not what it looks like to the world. You can't live, we're not living our lives for other people in the world. We're living our lives for ourselves and the things that we see, the things that we want to see in our lives, the things that we want to accomplish in our lives, the things that we want to get better in our lives, not in the Joneses' lives. It's just not a possibility. You only can live a life for you. And I think that's cool. And if you don't think it's cool, drop it. If you are watching me live on Facebook or YouTube, drop that in the chat why you might not think it's cool. Because it's important to understand why something doesn't relate to your lifetime goals, something being micro. It's okay. And releasing guilt around wanting greatness. That's huge. When you set your goals, you don't want someone to talk you out of a goal that you set for you. It might not be realistic at this time, but it's not about it being realistic for them. It's realistic to you. And then as you are putting things in place and you're setting things up and you're setting this up, that up, and things are all around you up, that's what makes it where you're growing. And everyone's not going to have the information that you have. Take a second. When you make a decision that your goal is A, B, or C, that is your lifetime achievement that you're working on. Those are the things that you want to happen in your life. This is about your life, not my life. It's about your life, not your friend's life. It's about what you want out of life, how you're trying to step into the best version of you. What's greatness? What's achievement look like to you? Because as you define what achievement looks like to you and you start reaching it, you're like, I can do whatever I say. One more time. I can do whatever I say. Because you must think it, speak it, build it, believe it, and receive it. You believe it, you receive it, and you achieve it. You've got to believe it, not someone else. So release guilt. You're not going to be guilty for wanting to do something different in your life. And don't let somebody tell you that you're a sellout, that you bougie, or that you don't want to hang out with us. You think you're better than us. That's not a thing. You're trying to be better than the old version of you. Don't be scared. I tell people I'm not scared of any other human beings. The only person I'm scared of is the old version of me. I don't want that old version to come back. I want to make sure that when I set that old version of flames, that it burned and I moved forward through those ashes. Just like that book says, from ashes to empowerment, I went through those ashes to be the best version of me starting today. I mean, that's what it's really about. Taking those moments, taking those seconds. This part here, you have to position yourself to receive the success you've earned. Come on now, I want y'all to think about it. Position yourself for your better life. So I said I want to sell 5,000 copies of hashtag poverty to six figures. I'm positioning myself as such. So the same tactics or things I did for hashtag from Forged in Fire, from ashes to empowerment, are different. I sold 300 copies out the gate of Forged in Fire. So for the first day it went live, I had already sold 300 copies. So I utilized, okay, so after that, my sales were, I wasn't getting 300, like 100 copies, 50 copies at a time. So I wanted to find a way to maintain that same energy that I got in the beginning of the book throughout. So I wanted to know, I analyzed, this is about positioning. I analyzed what I did that day that was different than what I did when I released hashtag poverty to six figures. And whatever marketing I did to get that book sold for one person bought 300 copies. So I wanted to make sure that that is the energy I'm taking throughout the next 6 months. So it goes to when you position, I'm positioning myself for success on the back end. I just put a video out a couple of probably like last week that showed that I was taking the 50th copy to the post office. My book came out June 15th. So statistically, hey guys, I'm one of these people, I break it down. Statistically, most authors, new authors, I'm a new author. This is only my second book in the last year. So I had 2 books come out in the last year. First book came out November, or the day after Thanksgiving, and the second book just came out. So that's we're talking about 9 months. I came out with 2 books. So I'm a fairly new author. So when you are a fairly new author like myself, you have to think differently. My strategy is different. This is about positioning yourself. So when you're looking to set your goals, you have to, you analyze the data from the past. Analyze to achieve your next level. You don't live in the data from the past. You can't do nothing about the past. Those past sales of Forged in Fire, I can't do nothing with that. But for future sales of hashtag poverty to six figures, I want to make sure I understand what I did well that first week, so I can make sure that I replicate that plus some for hashtag poverty to six figures, because my goals are different for the second book. But unless you're clear, remember the first part of the show is about clarity. And when the first show is about clarity, you have to make sure that at the end of the day that you are like laser focused on you. Laser focused like a lion, guys. Laser focused. So we got in the chat, we got Mrs. Gary chiming in. Hello, beautiful. She says, hello, CEOs. So currently, guys, for people who are watching this now live on my personal page, Facebook had to verify my Rachel L. Gary page. That's okay. Verify, trust but verify. I'm okay with trust but verify. We're gonna let them verify, figure out what if I've been hacked or anything on that page. If I've been hacked, we'll start all over. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna. It's funny. I want you guys to hear this story. The second I found out that my Facebook page was shut down, I immediately started thinking of alternatives and what was next. Now, for most people, now I'm going to tell you, one of my team members, he freaked out. He was like, whoa. We worked so hard to build those followers. We worked so hard to build that brand. We worked so hard. We can do it again. That goes to the difference between when you respond and react. Now, reaction, he wasn't even thinking about the other ways in which I could still broadcast my show on Facebook. We have a good group called the CEO Circle. So in the CEO Circle, we dropped it in there, have it live in there. So it still is a possibility for people to see it. How it goes to how bad do they want the information that's going to help line you up for success? I'm okay. We're going to continue on, and we're going to continue building, continue growing. Because when you do that, you're mentally already telling yourself that I'm going to make it past it. That's what I'm talking about, guys. I already programmed my mind. I'm going to make it past whatever challenge comes my way. So when Facebook is analyzing, while they're analyzing my account and I can't utilize it, I still find a way. Hey, Facebook people. You guys out there, people who are out there on Facebook right now watching, you're able to watch it because I found another way around it. Because when you're positioning yourself for success, during your positioning, you're positioning your mind to understand that success is yours. And on the other side of any obstacle, when obstacles come up, because they will come up, you're going to still remain positive. You're going to still remain energetic. You're still going to remain consistent and committed to your success. When those are the things that are on your mind, you, as an obstacle comes up, you don't feel knocked down. Several obstacles can come up. Some things you might not be able to solve today. You might have to be able to solve down the line. But while you're trying to figure out how to do that, you're going to still have the resolve of, I'll figure it out. And that's what it's about. Because when you're clear, you define what your achievement looks like to you. You release guilt that you want it because you want what you want. And it's okay to want what you want. So we got, what'd you say? It's me, Rachel L. Gary. I don't know what that's about. It's me. It's still me. And positioning yourself to receive your success. You earned the right to want what you want. Grow into the person that you need to be to get it. So when you define achievement, define your win. What does winning look like to you? Because without clarity, you don't know what you're doing. Now I'm going to use it for instance. I'm big on examples. For my event, my book launch event, my wife and I were just discussing how quick we got the room together. From when we entered the door, how quick we had it all laid out. And I'm going to tell you something she told me. She said, because you already knew what you wanted. Not only did I know how I wanted the room laid out, I had already conveyed the information to her. So our helpers were a little late to the party. They were a little late to help us set up. But by the time they got there, we needed one thing from we needed a couple things from them, which they did really quickly. As guests came in, we were already done setting up. We talking about 26, 27 minutes. We were set up. Because I was already clear on what I wanted it to look like. I didn't go to the space the day of and decide this is what I wanted it to look like. Everything that was bought had a place. Every item that was in the bags was in a bag in a way. Everything was laid out in a certain way so people would be able to get to it easily. When you have clarity, you're able to execute effortlessly. See what I'm talking about? When you're clear, you can execute. When you execute, you move closer to the achievement. It's all a process, guys. An easy process. Nothing, remember, nothing I'm talking about on Wake Up CEO is going to be difficult. It's going to be work. I didn't say it's going to be easy. What I'm saying is going to be simple. Simple, not easy. Because putting in work is not easy. Sometimes you got to put in work and you don't feel like it, but it's all right. When you put in the work and you have the outcome that you're looking for on the other end, you sit back and you revel. Man, I made that happen. It's okay to celebrate you. Clap it up. We're going to clap it up for you. We're going to clap it up for you right here on Wake Up CEO. I'm clapping it up for the best version of you. I'm clapping it up for that one step you took and you were successful. It moved you closer to your achievement. So own your progress, even the small steps. They might seem tiny, but if they move you closer to your goal, how about this? If you make a baby step forward, are you closer to where you were trying to go? You make a couple more baby steps forward, you're getting closer to where you're trying to go. You take one step back, you're still closer than you were when you first began. That's a mindset, babies. That's the mindset. That's what I'm talking about. That's the mindset. CEOs, that's the mindset right there. A step back isn't a failure. It's still closer than you were before. It's okay. Say we got to stay focused on the best outcome of ourselves. And I want you to say it loud. If you can't speak your vision, you're not aligned with it yet. My goal is audacious. 5,000 copies in 6 months. I'm saying it loud. I'm saying it right here. And any goal you have, any achievement you're looking to make, you celebrate it. At my event for the book launch, I celebrated the fact that I got there. Was it 200 people in the room? No. Was it 2 more people in the room than were in the room before? Was it 10 more people in the room than it was before? I celebrated the fact that it was. I celebrated that 50 copies of the book have already gotten in the hands of individuals who are now reading through a process that can bring them better tomorrows, starting the day that they start reading. That's the reason the book was written. As each individual utilizes the tools within that book and builds themselves, as they build themselves, they pull some people up with them. So that means not that book didn't just touch that one person. It touches every person they pull up with them. I'm pausing, guys. You know, the pause is just to get you thinking. What do you have to do? Where do you have to be? And who do you have to be? But you got to be clear on who all that person is. The only person who can find that clarity is you. No one is going to be clearer about what's going on with you but you. So that's what I'm speaking about at the end of the day. That's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about, guys. It's about, are you able to step into who you are and where you want to go with some clarity? So now that we're clear, 3 things that we're working on: defining what achievement looks like to us, release feeling guilty for wanting it. Don't allow anyone to tell you you're wrong for wanting what you want, and position yourself to receive it. So the first part, to achieve it, you got to believe it. Releasing guilt, you have to receive it. And when you position yourself to receive, you achieve. Believe, receive, achieve. It's all within your reach as long as you take the steps and you are willing to do the next things that are necessary for you to have the life of the CEO that I know is in you. You know what's in there. CEO. Hey, CEO. Come out. That's what the Wake Up CEO show is about. Getting that CEO out of you so we can live the best versions of our lives starting today. So jumping into empowerment. I want before we jump into empowerment, I want to make sure that we play a song real quick. We're going to put Do It Anyway by Erica Mason on.
You know, like, sometimes you just gotta stop caring about, like, what everybody else think and just live your life, you know? Look, if you ain't failed a couple times, you ain't ready for this. I don't crumble under pressure, I go heavy with this. Driving straight to the hole, I don't need no assist. If all I got is one shot, you know I ain't gonna miss. I never take a hater serious, I'm petty with this. Never been the type to fall down, straddle the fence. And yeah, I might lose it all, I get it right back quick. I'm like a walking casino, cause I'ma take that risk. I ain't scared of nothing but the old version of me. I'm fired up, boy, I love the cold version of me. I love the way I took the pain and now it's working for me. I'm coming back for everything that was taken from me. Hey, what you thought this was? I'm like the little engine that could. They love my drive, they just wanna know what's under the hood. I wish you would try to stop me, you gon' get what you deserve. I'll show you how to take it from the bottom to the first, yeah. I know they try to say you can't, but do it anyway. Ain't got no money in the bank, do it anyway. I know you felt a couple times, but that's alright. I don't care what people think, do it anyway. I know they try to say you can't, do it anyway. Ain't got no money in the bank, do it anyway. I know you felt a couple times, but that's alright. Won't care what people think, do it anyway. Hey, remember when they said I couldn't, now they ask me how I do it. When you really know you got it, you ain't never gotta prove it. When you started from the bottom, you ain't never scared of losing. Everything all on God, that's the only way I do it. Scared of what? Scared of who? Boy, I been had the juice with an extra side of sauce. Boy, I been had ragu. Baby, I got so much flavor in the pain, it's a seasoning. Promise I'ma get it, it don't matter the season. I do it any day, every day. I'ma get it in every way. No, they try to say that I can't, but I still do it anyway. I don't care what they're gonna say, I don't care what they're gonna think. When you out here chasing dreams, you don't care if people sleep. Wake them up when I speak, it's just a matter of time. And everything for me is just a matter of mind. I got audacity and confidence, a deadly combination. Yeah, I hear them talking, I just call it admiration. I know they try to say you can't, but do it anyway. Ain't got no money in the bank, do it anyway. I know you felt a couple times, so that's alright. Don't care what people think, do it anyway. I know they try to say you can't, do it anyway. Ain't got no money in the bank, do it anyway. I know you felt a couple times, so that's alright. Won't care what people think, do it anyway. Yeah, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. No, they try to say you can't, do it anyway. Ain't got no money in the bank, do it anyway. I know you felt a couple times, but that's alright. We don't care about what they say, do it anyway.
Man, whenever I hear that Erica Mason, it always gets me all hyped up. Do it anyway. No matter what anyone else says, you do it anyway. Because we're not stepping into greatness for anyone but ourselves. And while we're stepping into greatness for ourselves, I want to make sure you guys make sure lock in with Support District Radio, the app. So if you cannot watch me live, you can watch it on the go. Go to supportdistrictradio.com/stations/Chicago to take me on the go when you have to step away. It's okay that you guys are listening on the radio. That's why it's called a radio station. But y'all already know this is more than radio. And when we have more than radio, we want to make sure that we got the live going, we got the radio going, and we got you going, the CEO out there. So now we're on the empowerment piece. Now that you're clear, it's time to act like a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Awards. So it's time for you to say, I am the version of me that is necessary for the life I'm ready to achieve. And to do that, there's three moves that will help you find success in this. And as you guys get into the room, look at the question of the day if you're watching this live on YouTube or Facebook. And the question of the day is, when was the last time you clapped for you? So when was the last time you said yes to you and you actually clapped for yourself? Because that's what it's about. Celebrating your wins, celebrating your achievements, celebrating your growth. That's an achievement. So the 3 moves is about protecting your peace. Greatness doesn't grow in chaos. So if your life is full of chaos and you have chaos going on a everyday basis, you can't grow in chaos. Don't get silent on me, CEOs. Don't get silent on me. Don't get mad because I said you can't grow in chaos. You can't. It's not a possibility. How are you going to be the best version of you if everything around you if you have 20 things going on around you? Take a moment to silence some of the chaos. Now, for me, what I use is meditation. I meditate twice a day. Sometimes I meditate when I'm almost sleepy, and my wife has all kinds of jokes that she out there talking about I'm falling asleep in my meditation, my head fell. So sometimes I wait too late to meditate. So now I'm pulling myself back a little bit sooner in my day, so I actually have an opportunity to meditate and not go to sleep. The whole point is to ease my mind and to get one with myself, not to sleep. It's to have connectivity. So that's how that's my opportunity to, for lack of a better word, woosah for the day. And you're supposed to take a break. When you go to work every day, don't they give you breaks and lunches? So why in your everyday life do you think you don't need a break and you don't need a lunch and you don't need time to think? So we want to make sure at the end of the day that you're doing that, giving yourself some real self-care, because that's what that is, real self-care. Giving yourself an opportunity to think, give yourself an opportunity to eliminate chaos from around you and in your circle. Now this thing here is going to get you. So take a step. Refuse to shrink. Step into rooms that stretch you. Refuse to play small. Go all out every time. If you are looking for a goal, so as I was saying, hey guys, I only talk about things that I'm living through and overcome. That's the only thing I talk about, things I've lived through and overcome. Just reminding you of the CEO that's in you and steps that you could take in your CEO life to bring your dreams, your goals, your achievements to the forefront. So for me, as I was just saying, that I'm going to sell 5,000 copies of #Poverty to Six Figures. To stretch, I'm in rooms with people who sold millions of copies of books. So I joined a mastermind group of people who sold millions of copies of their book, not as a collective, guys. Each individual person in that room has sold 1 million copies or more of their book. Now, I've only sold 1,000 copies of one book. Now, I said only, just in comparison. So 1 million to 1,000. Why am I in the room? I don't know anything about how they got to 1 million copies. But if I'm not in the room with people who got 1 million copies, how do I get the 5,000 copies? How do I go from 1,000 to 5,000? You need to, you got to stretch. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I feel sometimes I feel dumb. I feel super dumb. Like, hey, why did I think of that? But because I'm not a best-selling author, I wouldn't have thought of it. However, those authors selling millions of copies are giving small things like make sure that you're updating your mailing list with these type of people. Make sure that you're reaching out to these groups. Oh, did you know about this? Man, I had even had some of these things I had never even heard of before. That's what I mean by stretch you. Because you're stretching you. When you're stretching you, you're able to say this. you're able, so when you're stretching, it's like a rubber band. You're gonna get more elasticity. The only way to get the more elasticity is to pull. So it goes to like, we'll say a rubber band. So when you got the rubber band, when you pull it a little bit, it doesn't go far. It's tight. The more you stretch it, it gets looser. So the more you stretch you, the easier you have the ability to learn and grow to your next level. I'm pausing because it's something I had to learn myself. You have to stop being comfortable. When you stop being comfortable, then you're able to say, okay, it's all right. I'm gonna be uncomfortable for a short period of time, because what's uncomfortable, you're gonna learn some things along the way that are gonna make you stop being so uncomfortable. And as you stop being so uncomfortable, you'll start learning more things, doing more things, growing more, and you'll say to yourself, dang, from where I was to where I am right now, I've learned so much more. But you got to be ready to stretch. Stretching means changing. I'm putting not fancy words. I just switched those words up. They mean the same thing. Be ready for the change. Be ready for the shift. Be ready to be the best version of you. So invest in you. Winners train even when nobody's watching. Integrity, I've told my children this since they were babies. Integrity is what you do when no one's watching you. When you are trying to win, Olympic swimmers, basketball players, football players, anybody who does anything professionally or at an elite level, train to get there. So whatever goal that you are looking for, whichever place that you're looking to be, go, grow, and have, you got to train. Train your mind. Train your thoughts. Train your activities. Train the excuses. I said that, let me say it again. Train the excuses to be eliminated from your vocabulary. You only can be the best version of you when you step into the best version of you. But you got to invest in you. I said it. We've heard for years, money doesn't grow on trees. Money, I'm going to tell you what money grows from. Money grows from ideas. If you don't have an idea right now that's going to make you money, I just had this conversation with myself today. This was a conversation, self conversation. Matter of fact, my cousin, of all people to jump online, hey, sorry, hold on one second. So my cousin is in the chat. Hello, cousin. Yes, say it, RLG. I appreciate that. My cousin and I were talking today, and in that conversation, even though we were having a conversation about some things, I had a thought after the conversation. And my thought after the conversation was, am I doing enough to move the needle to where I wanted to go? I pause. Because that was my thought today in my meditation. Now, you usually meditate early in the morning. However, this is a cousin. My cousin doesn't call me often, so she automatically is part of the people who in my do not disturb that can get through my do not disturb. Because usually if she's calling me during my do not disturb time, something is happening, which was great. I'm so glad I spoke to her. And I hope that from that conversation, she heard some great things. Because I always try to be positive no matter what. Love you also, cousin. Because that is what a conversation, to me, conversations are reciprocity. When my mentees come talk to me, even though I'm giving information and we're going over a goal and plans, is reciprocity. I'm listening to the things because they're living a different life than I'm living. Some things they're going to be better at than I'm going to be. I don't profess to know it all, but like a good friend of mine out there says that I might not know it all, but I'm gonna go look for it. She advised me today that she's like, I can call and ask you anything, because if you don't know the answer, you're gonna go find that answer. And that plays into my base of everything I talk about. I am solution oriented. So I'm not reacting to situations, I respond. When I respond, I only respond with information that I have. So I take information, I ascertain what we're going to do and make a plan. That's response. I'm going to come up with a response. Some people text me all the time and ask me why didn't I text them back? Because I don't have an answer. I'm not wasting my time to give you a half response. One more time. Did you hear it? I don't let the just because someone texts me, now it's an automatic, now it's instant message. That means I'm instantly replying. I'm not reacting to the text. I respond to a text. I don't react to an email. I respond to an email. I don't react to a chat. I respond to the chat. Because when you are working in your circle of genius and you are actually exercising self-care properly, you respond. You don't react. Reactions cause more problems. Sometimes venting to the wrong person will cause a problem in your life. I know that sounds crazy. So let's say that you have a problem with your significant other. Let's say you have a problem and you vented, you ranted and raved, you got all mad and you cussed them out. You were just venting, but that person took that so personally. Once you got it off your chest, you were done. You like, I'm good, I'm fine. But if you rant and rave to that person now internalized everything you said. Sometimes I hear it all the time. If you got a problem with somebody, go talk to that person. Sometimes you can't go talk to that person. I have a person that I'm upset with right now in my life. And being upset with them, I can't talk to them because I'm emotional. So it's a situation I'm emotional about. And when you're emotional about a situation, you have to take a step back. Okay. Wait. That goes to once again, when I'm responding, not reacting. So if I react to that person, I'm going to get upset. I'm a cuss, I'm a fuss, I'm going to do all those things. If I give myself time to formulate a response to the situation, I'll save us both a lot of heartache, headache, and dissipation of a relationship. People say that comes with maturity. No, it comes with good sense. Yes, I mature past the reactive stage. But the maturity came more so that I wanted something different out of life. And to want something more, be something more, do something more, I had to be able to have a cool head and be able to relax in a situation so I could be the go-to person to help. This is before I did leadership coaching and mentoring. This is when I was just a leader helping team members have better versions of themselves every day at work. Hold on, got someone in the chat. Hello there, Angie. She said, wow, I stepped in at the correct moment. I'm glad you're here. Now, as I'm saying this, she says, we need more common sense in the world. After all, it's free. I won't say common sense. Hey, that's the chat. Chat said it, not me. So I say that it takes some time for you to actually rationalize situations. You have to rationally think. And sometimes when you're thinking with emotions, you're not rational. Emotions are not rational. So right now I'm in my feelings about the subject. And with me being in my feelings about it, it means that I can't respond with my mind. I want to say it again. When I'm in my feelings about the subject, I can't respond with my mind. So when you're looking to respond, you must think. To think, you must have time to think. When you build self-care into your everyday life, you give yourself time to think, respond to situations, and have better outcomes. What did I tell you guys? On Wake Up CEO, everything I talk about is going to be simple. Easy, not so much. Because first you got to get your mind to calm down, enough to think rationally. Because when you're in your emotions are irrational. Someone told me recently that I was cold with something I said. They were like, well, you are nonchalant, is what they said. You are nonchalant with the situation. I don't think emotionally about the situation. So I spoke fact. What the person wanted was me to have empathy and be, they didn't want empathy, they wanted sympathy. They wanted me to be sympathetic to a situation that did not warrant empathy. It didn't warrant my emotional response. It warranted a response, not a reaction. They were looking for me to react because reaction allows you to argue. When I respond, I don't have time to argue. And I'm not going to argue. I step away from an argument. But that goes to when you are empowered. When you're empowered, you protect your peace. When you're protecting your peace, you refuse to shrink. You're going to be the light in the room. You're not going to be the one that's in the corner of the room. You're going to invest in you because winners train for success. They train to step into their greatness. You're great. Step into it. Step into it, CEOs. Take that moment and step into the best version of you. It's okay to leave the old version behind, guys. You heard it on Wake Up CEO. It's okay to leave the version of you that played small behind. It's okay. It's okay to say to your friends who call you at 3 a.m. and interrupt your sleep, hey, I'm not available at 3 a.m., but you don't have to say that. Just put your phone on Do Not Disturb when you're ready to go to bed. My Do Not Disturb starts at 10 p.m. From 10 p.m. to 9 a.m., I am on Do Not Disturb. Because that's my wife's time. That's my meditation time. That's my thinking time. That's my business time. That's my sleeping time. If you call me after 10 o'clock, you're waking me up. If it's not an emergency, and you know what an emergency is. Some people do not. Because an emergency sometimes could be like, I need $20. Hey, I'm stuck somewhere. I need $2. I need you to come pick me up. That's an emergency. I'm going to say this is where people say that I'm cold. This is where it came from. You didn't answer your phone when I called you at 11:30 and I was stuck in traffic. I said, okay. I didn't have any gas in my car. So I was stuck. I said, okay. So I was stuck in traffic. That's what she said. I said, okay. Now, I wasn't callous. I was not nonchalant. I was just making my statement. This is what I said next. I said, okay, I do understand that you forgot to put gas in your car. I do understand that you might not have known if you call I think it's 999 on the expressway, that they'll come put gas in your car. I said I apologize that you didn't know all of those things. But at 10 p.m. I'm asleep. And obviously you figured it out because right now you're calling me from home. Now, they wanted me to get emotionally involved with the situation. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I missed your call. Man, you were stuck on the expressway. What happened? That's emotional. I was logical with what could that person have done to avoid an emergency. Their emergencies, not my emergencies. So when you are empowering yourself to protect your peace, refuse to shrink, and invest in you, those situations don't happen because people will stop coming to you with things that are not really sincere emergencies. They'll come to you when there's a real problem that they cannot solve and they need a life-changing conversation. That's when people come talk to me, because that's when I want to talk to them. So we're gonna let It's Already Mine by Mellow Will play out. However, I want you guys to get ready. Get ready for my guests. We have guests. We have two guests that are going to be in here that are going to bring us some electric information about what we're talking about. Anyway, we're talking about how to get your Lifetime Achievement Award. And we got Louis Shine and we got Chabiria Shine in here. Guys, I promise you, you guys are not going to want to miss the rest of the show. So stay locked in. Right now, remember, you are on My Radio Chicago. Support District Radio. Well, we already know what? It is more than radio.
Mellow, take the wheel.
Yeah, whatever I want, it's already mine. Gratitude. Yes. Hey, I want it, I get it, I got it, I got it. I'm one with the spirit, I'm got it, I'm got it. I planted a seed and forgot it. I know you just seen what just sprouted. Everything that I desire, get excited just cause I'm sure. Less distractions keep my mind pure. Yeah. Reminder, I want it, I get it, I got it, I got it. I'm one with the spirit, I'm got it, I'm got it. I planted a seed and forgot it. I know you just seen what just sprouted. Yeah. Everything that I desire, get excited just cause I'm sure. Less distractions keep my mind pure. Yeah. Reminder, I'll never forget this again. Was born with a gift from within. I give me a grip on a pen and give you a hit.
inside of me, you feel the frequency. God energy. Everything inside of me, you feel the frequency.
You can feel the vibe I word on me every day. Grand Ross, nobody.
Hello, testing. Hello.
You with the spirit, you ain't never poor. Sitting on blessings, all I gotta do is manifest. The universe speak to my soul, I feel a presence. Know you are and take control of where you head. I say, peace of the God, send the goddess on the planet. I meditate on the daily. This type of peace is amazing. You are a carbon baby. Let's raise the vibration.
God energy. Everything inside of me, you feel the frequency. God energy. Everything inside of me, you feel the frequency. Affirmations daily, you should join it. Love is the vibe and we own it. The universe been talking to the chosen. The universe been talking to the chosen. God energy. Everything inside of me, you feel the frequency. God energy. Everything inside of me, you feel the frequency.
All right. We are back. Guys, you know what time it is. You know where we're about to go. We're about to really get into it. So, you know what, when we on Wake Up CEO and when we have guests, we got to introduce guests properly. We got to make sure that we bring them all the way into the room. And doing this when we bring them all the way into the room, all the way into Wake Up CEO, we got to make sure we take our time and introduce them properly. So we have, wait a minute, guys. Well, y'all got to set yourselves up and be prepared. We have actress, playwright, producer, the CEO of Iconic Heiress LLC, the talented Shabria Shine on Wake Up CEO. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Rachel, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining me. So tell us a lot about Shabria.
Oh, a lot about Shabria. Well, you said so much already. Thank you so much for that awesome introduction. As you said, yes, all those things. So I own a productions company, Iconic Heiress. And so we empower and inspire women to live, laugh, love, and heal through stage plays, events, and film. And I'm also an author. So a lot of my shows come from like some of my books and some of my personal experiences because I just love empowering through the arts. So, yeah.
Love that. Hey, guys, you know, I love when we're talking about empowerment.
Yes.
Y'all know what's the E in CEO? Empowerment. That's what it's all about. So with your resume, so I said this, with the long resume, now that you are married and fabulous,
Yes.
should we be on the lookout for another book other than, because we got Single and Satisfied and a
Yes.
self-love manual. So what's the next book?
Yes. My next book actually is Newlywed No Problem.
Oh, wow. So
Yes.
it's out already?
No, I'm working on it.
Oh, so hey, you guys have heard it live here on Wake Up CEO that the new book is coming. So when do you have a release date, or you're still in process?
I'm still in the process. It will either be the end of this year or early next year because we have a play coming up. I just came out with this book, The Self-Love Manual. So, but I've been working on the other book since I got married. So it doesn't take me too long. So it's either the end of this year or early next year.
Okay, so
Yeah.
one more time, guys. I heard she got a process.
Yes.
I want to make sure that you know, on Wake Up CEO, we are big on making sure that we hear those things that allow us to find success.
Yeah.
She got a process.
Yes.
Because if you don't have a process for your dream, you just gonna be dreaming.
True.
You gotta have an action plan.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer in success. I'm big. So tell us a little bit about the journey from author of these great books to playwright.
Yes. Honestly, I never thought I would be a playwright or an author, actually. I grew up performing, being a performer. So like dancing, singing, acting. I always thought I'd be on Broadway. That's what I wanted to do. Never saw myself as like the creator. But you know what? I ended up taking a turn and getting into business. I ended up getting a business degree, going into management. And in between my customers, when I was bored or had downtime, I started writing a play.
Okay.
Ideas start coming to me, and I was like, okay. And now I didn't produce that play. Maybe it's for later, but maybe it was just to get my creative juices flowing. But years down the line, I got married. We moved to South Carolina, and my husband's like, what do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, I want to act again. I want to do this. I want to do that. And he's like, well, go ahead and do it. I'm like, well, it's not that easy just to jump back into it. But he's like, well, create your own. And he really encouraged me in that process. And it came so quickly. I can only attest it to God giving me like the storyline and just everything. And part of my first play that I ever produced it's called Single Woman Chronicles. And it was part of my life as a single woman, but also issues that I felt women around me dealt with in their singleness. And so that is like my baby. That's my play. That's like my anthem because I lived through it. And there was a time I hated being single. And so I had to learn how to love myself and how to be whole with or without somebody in my life, and to realize my marital status or my relationship status doesn't define my worth or my value.
Hold on. I'm going to pause for a second. And I don't usually pause people. Y'all know I'm not like that. Can you repeat the part that it did not determine your self-worth?
Absolutely. Yeah. I had to realize that my relationship status or my marital status, it didn't define me, my worth or my value. And I had to get this whole concept of when I get married or when I get a man or what. No. How about living your life now, maximizing your potential now, loving you in your life now, learning who you are. What do you like and dislike? How do you date yourself? And some people aren't okay with themselves. And I had to learn that. And through that, I started a blog because I realized other single women were struggling too. It wasn't just me. And that was so healing and encouraging other people and empowering other women that actually in turn empowered me. And so that's where my first book came from. I thought it was a blog post, but it ended up being way too long. The words kept flowing. And I'm like, oh, this is a book. This isn't a blog post. I have so much to say about being single, so much to say about my journey, so much encouragement for single women. So I wrote the book. I started Single and Satisfied Movement, and the rest is history. I wrote my first play around it, and I've been writing and producing ever since.
So when you were, this is not even one of my questions. This is just an add-on question from that.
Yeah.
So when you were finding yourself and making a decision that being single, loving you was the ultimate goal. It didn't matter if you were single, married, or in a relationship. Loving you was the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So when you saw that and felt that, did you feel opened more for love? Because at that point you weren't searching for it anymore.
Yeah, correct. So honestly, can I be real with you?
Please do.
First, I was like, I don't need a man. I don't want a man. But I had to really be self-aware. And I think awareness is so important that I was hurt. So it's easy to say I don't want a man, but it came out of a place of hurt and brokenness from past relationships. So I had to first deal with that. Mm-hmm. And then I became to heal and grow and to realize all men aren't that way, XYZ, and just spend time with God and myself, my spiritual journey. And then I really became single and satisfied, meaning, okay, God, if this is what it is, I'm not going to settle for less than God's best for my life. So if I don't find the right person, I'm okay with staying single. I'm open to it. My heart is open to it, but I don't feel that I need it to be fulfilled or to fulfill my purpose. And that is when I truly start living. And then after I really got to that place, it didn't take too much longer before my husband found me.
And I have to say this, CEOs, I'm big on just speaking facts.
Yeah.
Speaking facts. You got people in the chat who said, exactly, preach.
Yes.
So I say it's, from what I heard, was when you became satisfied with you and you started living in your purpose, then love found you.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you were so open to it.
Yeah.
And let's first rewind the part where you had to heal.
Yes.
Because I had this whole conversation with a friend recently, and she's like, my wife and I have been together 17 years. She's like, if your wife called you tomorrow and said it's over, would you be sad? Yes. She said, and then what would you do? Heal. She said, wait, I said, because I will be used to being married so long that the first thing I will be looking for is the next person to satisfy that relationship.
Yeah.
I said, as opposed to learning how to love Rachel L. Gary. And what does Rachel L. Gary like?
Yeah.
I said, but then during the whole conversation that we were talking, I said, I do that right now. My wife will tell if you ask her, does she make me happy? She'll tell you no. Mm-hmm. I'm happy and whole with me.
Yeah, you can't depend on another person to fulfill you.
And it's not fair.
No,
It's not
too
even
much
fair.
pressure
It's too
on
much
them.
pressure on another individual for them to make themselves happy, make you happy. The first thing is that they have to when you're happy, you're making everyone around you happy.
Yeah.
But the first thing is finding the happiness in you.
Yeah.
So I love that you said the self-love piece. That's
Yeah.
what really what it's all about.
Yeah, it's so true, because I feel like we do depend on, oh, when I get this relationship, I'm gonna be so happy, everything's gonna be so perfect. No, because you ain't perfect. Two imperfect people coming together. You got issues yourself, so definitely.
Y'all heard that comment here. So make sure that it's funny because I say it all the time. I tell people too. I told my wife years ago. I said we're two imperfect people trying to have a perfect life.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen because life isn't perfect.
Yeah.
And we're two individuals who have gone through things that we have brokenness that has happened in our life and past relationships.
Yeah.
We have all those things that we're bringing to a table. So we have your relationships, my relationships, and then this relationship.
Yeah.
So when you're doing all of that, thinking, because while we're all sitting there talking, you and I talking.
Yeah.
You're talking in your head. I'm talking in my head.
Yeah.
And then we're having a conversation. We have 4 conversations going on actually at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all going on within 2 conversations. Can you imagine all of the people around that's happening? So I tell all when we first got together, I said, I'm not here to complete you. I'm here to add to you.
Yeah.
I'm here to embrace.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help guide if I need to. If you need assistance and whatever you do, like when you were saying that Lou said your dream, what you want?
Yeah.
I asked my wife all the time. I gave her a pad. I said, "There's a pad. What did you want?"
Yeah.
I said, because I'm living my dream or building my dream. I don't want you to get lost in my life.
Mm-hmm. You got to have your own dream.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I said. Because like right now, I have a dream to sell 5,000 copies of my book.
Yeah.
And I said, excuse me, my apologies, guys. You heard dream, and then that's not how I talk. My apologies. When I say I'm going to sell 5,000 copies, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
5,000 copies in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was just having a conversation where I was saying that I'm in a room right now with people who sold millions of copies of their books.
Yeah.
A piece.
Yeah.
Not as a collective.
Yeah.
Because you have to stretch you to find that growth.
Yeah.
So I told people, I said, I like to be the dumbest person in the room. I'm in the room.
For sure.
One lady said, she told me, she said, all you have to do is do this mail on this and this and this. And I felt so stupid for a second because it was easy. It was extremely simple what she was talking about. But it was like, I didn't even think of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an author who has sold a million copies.
Right.
She is. So when she made the statement, it was like, that was just so easy. But it was easy because she's already done it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's the part that we lose sight of. Luz, you can chime in anytime. Just because we're talking, this is her segment. It is the show. Y'all can speak as you will.
Yeah.
But those are the things that I think that we, as an individual, need to embrace.
Yeah.
That you have to get out your comfort zone. You have to be ready for change because that's one thing that's inevitable in life.
Change. Absolutely.
It's going to happen no matter what we decide to do. It's still going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So with your books. So I didn't let you dive into those books. So we're gonna let you dive in a little bit to those books.
Yeah.
Because I had to know about the playwright because then we're gonna get to why she's really here. Now but no, the books that you have.
Yes.
So which book came first?
Okay.
And if you could tell us a little bit about it. So
Yeah, for sure.
and where the people can find that book.
For sure. So the first book was Single and Satisfied, The Single Woman's Guide to Fulfillment, as I was talking about earlier. And it really just encourages women how to find their wholeness, their self, how to love themselves and love their journey. Even if you're looking for Mr. Right, that's fine too. But it's also for those who don't desire marriage. I don't assume everyone desires marriage. So it's for both, whether you desire marriage or you don't desire marriage. But it also digs deep into like one chapter is the journey of a loveaholic. And it really shares my perspective and struggles as a single woman, how I was just in love with love and this fairy tale ending. And it goes through, you get all the tea, all my little relationships and just the struggles. And, I had some devastating, yes, it's pretty juicy. I had some devastating, situations happen, but it really, I feel like a lot of women who've read it say they really can identify with it because I'm really raw and I'm real. Like people, you might not look at me, but I'm very blunt. So like I tell it like it is. And I think that's so important because a lot of people try to pretend, oh, I'm perfect or oh, this and my relationship's perfect. And it's like, no, nobody's perfect. Be real because your realness and your testimony is going to help somebody else. Yeah. So I talk about so much in that book from a single woman's perspective. It's kind of just like a love letter to single ladies, but I've had so many women testify that it's helped them in their single journey. And it's really helped them to find themselves, love themselves, heal, and to max out in their single season. Because once your single season is done, unless you break up with someone, but once you're married, right? It's supposed to be a forever thing. We hope, we pray, right?
It should. But I want to say that as she said that doesn't mean to be in relationships that don't have that don't resonate with the individual that you are. work on finding the perfect relationship for you.
Yeah, have to make sure, like,
Yeah, I mean, a
it's
lot
the
of
person
people
God
stay in
has for you,
relationships
and
and
it might be being abused or all kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and that's not healthy for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that book is just really encouraging single women to maximize your single season, because once it's over, it's over. And what I didn't want to do is settle for less. I knew so many women who were like, oh, I just want to be married. They got married and it was the wrong person because they just wanted to be with somebody. So I just really encourage people, don't settle for less. I'd rather be single and living my best life than married and miserable. So I always had that perspective, like, I'm not going to settle, and the counterfeits will come. When you think you're healed and you're whole, oh, baby, they going to come. And then you got to realize, nah, boo, you ain't it. You might got the look, but you won't got the heart, or you might have the money, but you ain't got the integrity. So you have to really make sure that you know what you desire. Even if you don't know what you want, know what you don't want. It's so important to know what you don't want, because sometimes women are like, everybody talk about that list. I'm in the middle on it. I had a list, but then there was a time that I didn't have a list. And honestly, I feel like God knew what I needed. He sent what I for sure needed and wanted. And I didn't even know some stuff that I wanted and needed that God sent. So it's so important, I think, to know what you don't want, have standards and boundaries, so that if you don't necessarily know what you want, when those counterfeits show up, you know what you don't want. Like, that ain't it. May not know everything I want, but you not it. And I think that's important.
And being able to say that
And walk away from it.
I tell people, no is a whole sentence.
A whole sentence. Oh, and that goes into my next book, The Self-Love Manual. You know, I just turned 40. And so it was so important for me to reevaluate my life. I feel like I always do that because I love to, like,
I do as well. I'm gonna be
Yes.
honest. I self-check weekly.
It's important.
And I speak about it on the show quite often.
Yeah.
And I said, because when you self-check, you'll figure out something sooner than later. And you'll be able to correct it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Because I had a situation like a week ago that I was paying attention to someone else's situation, and I had lost sight of my goals.
Yeah.
But by me doing that weekly self-assessment, it was like, oh, I didn't take care of none of the stuff I was going to take care of this week. And I said, okay. And then I asked myself, where did it go or why? Because I hadn't even noticed I was spending so much time listening through their problems and going through all that stuff. And it wasn't really a problem. It was really, they were venting every day. Yeah. And I was listening every day. I was like, I'm being a friend. Yeah. But I have a big thing about my self-care. And I tell people self-care is those boundaries, those real boundaries.
Yeah.
And I had allowed my boundaries to be neglected for a whole week. And not just as my goals, but my life assessment had changed. Because if you think about it, you're talking to somebody every day for 2 hours a day. That's 10 hours.
That's a lot. That's a lot
of negativity I listen to all week.
That could be changing your perspective, and you don't even know it.
It absolutely is changing your perspective, because you're thinking while they're talking, like we were just having this conversation. And I was like, okay, so I limited how much I speak to them this week.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So this week I spoke to them an hour here. Yeah. Now they had the same problem, but now for me, I'm spending less time hearing that problem.
Yeah, that's good.
But when I had that self-assessment, let's say I didn't have that self-assessment.
Yeah.
Let's say I hadn't noticed that my goals one day, I didn't do nothing last week. I'll be this week because she still got the same problem.
Yeah.
So the same problem.
And she still want to vent about it.
But now the vent is like, hey, and the funny part is that she knows me. So she knows that normally I'll be like, hey, I got some things to do.
Yeah.
I do understand you got that going on, but is it life-threatening right now?
Yeah, you got to go. Yeah.
But I got some things to do. And like if we're gossiping, I don't gossip. Period. That's a period.
It's a waste of time.
I don't gossip. I don't care about anyone else's life in the way. I don't even watch TV. So that means I don't watch any kind of dramas. I don't watch any kind of soap operas. I don't watch TV but one day a week, and that's UFC.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's the only thing I watch. And my wife's 2 romantic pictures that I watch on Sunday. She gets 2 movies that we watch on Sunday. Yeah. And they must be romance. I don't watch anything else. Yeah. Because I don't care about all those other things.
The dramas. Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
The only thing I care about is loving our lives and finding the best versions of that. That's it.
Yeah. Your focus. Which is good.
But my lost focus for that week. Yep. But without that assessment,
but you're self-aware, so you can get back on track. And I think that's so good. And I feel like this book was kind of that for me. It was a compilation of some blogs that I wrote, and also just some experiences that I've had recently. And it's just kind of what you're saying, self-awareness, self-assessment. And each chapter, it has a different theme of like, okay, boundaries. Are you setting your boundaries in your relationships? And we always think of like dating or marriage relationships, not just that, real friendships, co-workers. Are you setting your boundaries? I put in there, no, children. No is a full sentence. I talk about guilt because sometimes we feel guilty when we say no, and I had to let that go because, people will drain you. And, like you're kind of saying, and they might not do it intentionally, but if you you don't have a boundary set for your life, people will control it with their problems, their issues, their perspective. They may love you, but you have to love yourself enough to say, no, I have to have boundaries in place because I have a goal. I have a future. Like you said, you had to say, okay, I ain't do nothing I'm supposed to do, or my perspective's changing. I realized that for me. And also I talk about relationships, dating relationships as well, but mostly just relationships as a whole. And that's one chapter. And then I talk about, the different parts of your being, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, taking care of yourself. And I go through each area and I break down, how are we supposed to take care of ourselves in each area? When we think about our whole self, usually we think physical, but that's not it. That's not it. It's so many different parts of us that we have to take care of. And, I talk about self-care, and that's different for everybody. Like one person might be like, oh, I like the spa like this. One person might be like, I need to read 10 minutes in the corner, or I need to go deep breathe in the dark. Like everybody is different.
Yes.
And so for me, what I noticed in my pursuit of like being an author and being a playwright and being the lead actress in my shows, doing so much, I realized I neglected myself for the last couple of years. And I was burnt out at the beginning of this year. And I had a huge show to produce. And I'm like, I'm on zero. How am I about to produce this show? And I'm the lead actress. And it's one of my most difficult shows. How am I going to do this when I feel like I'm called to do this, but I feel burnt out? I have no more energy. And I had to take an assessment and say, why do I feel like this right now? Why do I want to throw in the towel and give up on my dream? Why do I want to say, forget this? I don't want to do this anymore. And it was the self-care, the self-love. Yes. Am I pouring out into everyone else, but forgetting to pour into myself? And we do it all the time, I feel like. And Absolutely. So this is a love letter to us as women. And it goes through different areas. It goes, and I love one particular chapter because it talks about friends, kind of what you were saying, and it says, I have one about frenemies or friends. Like, yeah, do they constantly like
love the frenemy part?
Yes, because you have people in your life who they're always joking. You feel like it's a joke, but when you think about it, you're the butt at the end of all the jokes, and you have to think, are they playing or are they real? Because if I'm always the butt end of their jokes, are they empowering, encouraging me, or they hate us for real? And I had people in my life like that.
It's funny that you say that because that's a real thing.
Yeah.
And people, and this is something that my grandmother taught me when I was really little. Every joke, there's a little bit of truth in it.
Yeah.
So when someone is joking with you or on you,
yep,
they have a little bit of what they think of you in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, so she used to tell me, listen,
yeah,
pay a lot of attention to what people jokes that you hear about you from your friends.
Yep.
And she's like, some people will joke about your weight. They'll joke about your hair. And she's like, but that's how they feel about that particular part of you. It's a joke. But it's only a joke because they're saying it in a jokingly manner.
Yeah.
But and so I said, even though they might not think that they're being harsh, it is harshly being taken.
Yeah.
So you have to watch.
Yeah, you got to be so careful with friendships. And I distance myself from a lot of people because I'm like, I have goals, like you said, and dreams, and certain people, when you're going elevating, you can't take them with you. Absolutely and not. So I also, talk about the perspective. Do you have friends that are just around for the party in your life? When things are going great, when you're succeeding, when you have money, when you're going on vacation, when you're going somewhere new. And I had certain people in my life like that where they kind of were like leeches. They wanted to suck out the blessings that God gave me because they were too lazy to trust God for themselves. And so that was so important to me. Now, of course, you want to bless your friends.
That was the whole quote, guys. I want to make sure, Bruce, if my VA, if you're listening, that part right there, make sure that's a quote and we put that in her video. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. It's so true because, I would feel like so drained around certain people. And I'm like, why am I like that? And then I had to sit back and say, when they go somewhere great, they never invite me. When they're doing something fun, they never invite me. When they're doing well or they want to bless someone, it's never with me. But then when I do anything, they are upset and they are like, you got to invite me. And I realized
you didn't even invite me. Is the first thing they asked. And you ask yourself the question, didn't they just go to Dominican Republic?
Yeah, didn't invite you, didn't say nothing. And I'm not even that type of person. Like, I feel like I'm blessed to be a blessing. However, it took me a minute to realize, like, dang, they're leeches. They're trying to suck me dry of the favor of God in my life when the same God that blessed me will bless you. You ain't even got to be like hanging on to my coattails. Now, if that's the only reason for the friendship, that's not a real friendship.
Absolutely.
And so I just had to really just look at my surroundings and say, like, either you're elevating me or bringing me down. And that's not selfish. To me, that's self-love.
1,000% to me is self-love. And I in my book, Forged in Fire, I speak about this statement. I said, sometimes you have to burn the bridges. And so, and a friend of mine, when they read that part, they said, you burned me in that bridge. I said, it was not, I told her, I said, you were part of the people at that time because we became friends again.
Okay.
because she became a different person. We grew. We were kids at the time.
Yeah.
But I burned the bridge. And I tell people, when I burned the bridge, I didn't intend to go back.
Exactly.
So for me, it was, I believe that you rise from any occasion.
Yeah.
And so when I burned the bridge and I walked. I said, I felt like Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale when she lit a cigarette because it was over with at that time.
Yeah.
Everything burned behind me and I was through.
Yeah.
I left the house I lived in. I rented that house out. I went and I went and got a rental apartment.
Yeah.
All those things that took place. Okay. So at that point in time, I had to pivot. So I went into a rental when I had a whole house.
Yeah.
But I needed to take a step away. Okay. I needed people not to be able to find me. I needed people not to know where I was.
Yeah.
And took my kids and we started a whole new life. Life changed.
Yeah.
Dramatically during that time. But it changed over. We're at a better place because of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I tell people, sometimes when you burn that bridge and you're on the other side, you can't look back. Looking back will drain you. So you have to continue moving forward.
Yeah.
So wait. I want to make sure that we get this gig. We got to get to the producer. What are we producing? Hold on, guys. You're going to have to not see her for 1 second because we got to get that production. We are producing. What is that?
Yes, Dr. Love, the stage play. So this is one of my most fun characters to play. It's a straight up comedy. So I love it. It actually derived from me giving relationship advice as the love doctor online. But I used to just do it in my regular voice, but dressed up like that. And I was like, you know what? I think this will be cooler if she has Southern auntie accent, super religious. She's funny, old school, and a little, she thinks she's a pretty big deal too, y'all.
Okay.
So she's hilarious. So I love playing it. It's so much fun. She's energetic. She gives real talk advice. And so in this play, she's a love expert, love doctor, and she has different people coming to her office to get advice about their situations. And it's all kind of situations, a rocky marriage in there, some shady business in there. We got the single and unsatisfied girl that's over 30. You got the 40-year-old who feels like, she just gonna marry whoever. So we got a lot of different fun. And it's fun with music and dancing and a little comedy bit at the end. So it's really funny. And we did it last year just to, I guess, debut it to see, do people really like it, how they respond. We did just part 1 of it. And we got a really great response. And so we're doing the full show October 18th, West Side Theater Guild. Gary, Indiana. Tickets are $35. But if you use code, I believe it's Dr. Love, you get some money off, $10 off. So,
okay.
Yes.
And hold on. So you get $10 off if you use Dr. Love. But right here on Wake Up CEO, she's giving away 2 tickets to the show. 2 free tickets. Okay. So for you guys to get the tickets, you have to send me a DM with her name, completely spelled correctly.
That's hard.
Now, so what I'm getting ready to do, so you've had all the show to see the banner. And at this point, it is now gone. So you guys need to figure out how to spell her name correctly and send it to my inbox, and she will get back with you guys for 2 tickets to the show that is debuting. Is it debut?
Yeah. Yep. October
18th.
Yep.
You guys see it on you saw it right here on Wake Up CEO. You've heard about her 2 great books, as well as her going from from an actress to an author to a playwright to a producer and to producing her own show. Make sure that you guys are in the room. I'm going to be in the room, so I'm hoping to see you guys there as well. So Shabria, please tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, and I got that code wrong. It's Dr. Love, the number 10, Dr. Love, the number 10. They can find me at Charbria.com, CHARB as in boy.
No, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
it. Don't want me to help y'all. So just go to Charbria.com.
No more help. No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
You're right.
No, you can go ahead.
You can go ahead. Charbria.com. I don't want them to cheat for the tickets. I got to figure it out. You're right.
So
go to Charbria.com or Charbria.com/Dr. Love for the Dr. Love tickets. But if you go to my website, you can find everything. Everything's there, even everything. Yeah. So
awesome. So we had a couple of people commenting there. My apologies, guys. As I said, big on boundaries. I give the guests my utmost attention. So we had people say, dreamers. They said, I would love to support the play. So she just explained how to support to go Shabria. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong again. Go ahead.
Sharbria.com.
Sharbria.
Click Dr. Love or Sharbria.com/Dr. Love. Either. Yeah.
All right. So make sure you guys get your tickets. But if you drop in my inbox right now with the spelling of her name, I will make sure she gives you that information for your 2 free tickets where you can bring yourself and other people as well. Talk to you guys in a couple of moments. We're going to let Free Myself play out.
Tried to save the world. That change started with me. Rescue my own soul with the chains wrapped around my feet. I reprogram my beliefs. I'm no longer feeling incomplete. I'm fulfilling prophecies. I'm raising kings and queens. I'm planting seeds and I'm harvesting. I'm screaming, free the world, baby, until the whole world is free.
And I just got to be me.
Hey, what does it mean to be free when every month niggas is stressing to pay the lease? When children dying off in the street, the billionaires is gluttonous getting fat off of greed. And what does it mean to be free if every time I look in the mirror I judge me? When they told me my pigment was ugly, how could I ever expect somebody to love me? Self-hate all in the subconscious. Healing yourself is a lifelong process. Instagram making it seem trendy. Wearing crystals ain't gonna solve all your problems. Send a prayer for those stuck in violence. North Philly all the way to Chicago. Free the Congo, free Gaza. Free the world, releasing all the trauma. We done felt enough pain. I just wanna see you smile and be free and be free. And be free. Yeah. If you wanna see a change, go and look in the mirror and find peace, find peace. Hey, find peace. I want to be free. I just want to be. And I just like to be me. I want to be free. I just want to be. And I just like to be me. I free myself from addiction, walking around in life playing the victim, passing down disease onto my children, making excuses for low vibrational living. I free myself from the baggage, heavy auras holding down my passion, cause I used to want to fight every battle, filled with rage, ready for action. But nowadays my peace is priceless. Channel my empathy, but I'm staying decisive. Selective on who I'm sharing my life with. My boundaries getting strong as a bison. I no longer define wealth with dollars. The wickedest folks making the biggest deposits. You ask me what it means to be free. Your intuition will want to give you the key. We done felt enough pain. I just want to see you smile and be free and be free. And be free. Yeah. If you want to see a change, go and look in the mirror and find peace, find peace. Hey, find peace. I want to be free. I just want to be. And I just like to be me. I want to be free. I just want to be. And I just like to be me.
Okay. Welcome back to My Radio Chicago, where you support District Radio. Well, you guys already know it is more than radio. Guys, that was such an awesome conversation. We left little room for our second guest, but we're gonna make sure we invite him in correctly to Wake Up CEO. So we have pro athlete, coach, GM, team owner, and now basketball league owner of the Professional Hoops Association, Louis Shine, with us today. Louis, welcome to Wake Up CEO, and thank you.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Awesome. I mean, I appreciate you both for coming in. And as you guys see, they're a power couple with their own thing. So, Louis, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I have a extensive history in sports. As you said, I've played, I've coached at all levels, played at all levels, done a lot of things within sports, even at the lower levels, just kind of, grinding my way to the top, just getting a lot of different experience. And so, all that experience has culminated into me actually starting my own professional basketball league. A couple of the reasons with that is because, number one, I used to be an athlete coming out of college, and I didn't have like the NBA knocking at my door or anything like that. But I did have pro ability, didn't have the stats, but I did have the ability, and someone helped me, and so I find now that even looking back, there's a lot of guys out there that they just need help. They go through situations. They may have been to a college where a coach had his favorites already, or, they might have had to leave school for some reason, parent passed away or whatever the case, which I've dealt with them kind of situations. But those guys need help too. And that's what I feel like I'm called to do, is to help those guys that have the stories that maybe there's people that don't want to mess with them because they have situations that have happened or don't have the stats and things like that. But I like to look past that and see them for who they are and see that real true ability and help nurture that to help open those doors so they can get through those doors and get to where they should be.
Oh, absolutely. Love that. Helping other individuals find success. You guys know that's all what we about here on Wake Up CEO. So with that resume, I think it's clear to say you love basketball.
I do.
So tell us, with all the sports that are out there, why basketball?
Well, my dad introduced me into basketball. Matter of fact, growing up in Chicago, I was born in Cook County Hospital. There was a lot of people. Then, I started out on the west side, and then we moved up north. So I can remember being in school like 5 years old, 6 years old. I remember when the Bears won the Super Bowl and they played it over the intercom. And of course, Michael Jordan was being introduced into Chicago. So that was kind of like my introduction, just to see like, oh man, who is this? So then that quickly sped up, and my dad had me in basketball. I loved football and I ran track and stuff too, but basketball was just that sport that just kind of stuck with me. And so I kind of rolled that up through the grades. And by the time I got to high school, every other sport that I played, baseball, track, football, soccer, I kind of dropped those and focused on basketball. I had an opportunity to live with my dad in Cali for a while too. And so I grew up watching like the Showtime Lakers out there.
Okay.
And seeing Magic Johnson and Kareem.
Oh, wow.
So it was just all around me. It's like you couldn't really help it. And so I was trying to emulate moves at school and stuff like that. So it just kind of got ingrained into me.
So I have to say this. So in Chicago, I used to know, if people that know me way back then, I used to play high school ball. I was all state a couple of times.
Okay.
I play. Right now I can't jump like I used to. I can't play the way I used to, but people still have a hard time with me on the court.
You got that jump shot?
Oh yeah. It's funny.
On.
I was outside playing my sons. Three of my sons and my nephew, we're all playing, and I'm out there and I'm in some sandals. You know how they talk about the old man sandals with the little buckle on them. They got all kinds of jokes for my sons. I said, look at this hot. We in Chicago. It's like 95 degrees outside. Y'all crazy. Okay. So we out here playing. Now I beat all three of them.
Oh, wow.
Now their story is they let me win. That's the story. But I'll take it. I'm gonna take it.
It's
That's
like
the
riding
story.
a bike, huh? It's like riding a bike. You just
I can shoot. The biggest thing is that my body's not I said this. As you get older, guys, life happens, and as life happens, right now I'm doing a reversal of life happening. I'm doing a lot of holistic healing, a whole lot of holistic medicines. I don't take up, guys. This is my disclaimer. This is not the, this does not mean do not talk to your doctors about your health. What I am saying is that I have a holistic doctor. So I have my regular doctor and I have a holistic doctor who actually went to medical school and passed medical school. Also, one of the authors that was at my book launch event, Shatavia Gill, she is going to be a doctor in now 4 weeks. She has a book that came out that talks a lot about holistic healing and provides certain medicines. And she also, with disclaimer, says make sure you talk to your doctor because medicine itself is not just made for. How do I say that? I got to be. I always try to be respectful. People go to the doctor a lot. It wasn't meant to be a healer. Mm-hmm. It was meant to be something that to help us predict things that were happening. But naturally, we had natural herbs and spices that were used for our ancestors for generations that actually healed the body a lot quicker in a more protected way. Because I do have to say this, whenever you go on the news, you got one drug and then 5 years from now, that drug, if you had A baby, B, you need to call this lawyer. I'm like, that's a no for me. And so I just started looking into those things. So so that's what I do for my body right now. Before I had, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis where they told me it would progressively get older, get worse as I got older. And I will tell you right now that my knees feel a lot better over the last 6 months when I changed the type of medicine and the types of foods I was eating.
Keep you going with that jump shot too.
Oh, yeah. Now, I mean, before I couldn't even do the jump shot. Like when we were playing that day, I couldn't do the jump shot at all.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
I couldn't jump off the ground because my knees, they feel like I was shattering when I came down.
Oh man!
But at this point, I can jump around, and I'm not saying there's miracles, but God works in His way. I'll say it that way. But with the jump shot, so back to what we're talking about, basketball. Now, with basketball, there's a lot that goes along with basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a firm believer in success leaving clues. Who was your guiding light through all of your challenges that you went through while you were going through all of these different stages of basketball?
Man, I'd say the Lord Jesus Christ. Seriously, He helped me through a lot of it. I mean, there were some challenges. I can remember just going through the whole just working out with these different teams and stuff like that. And I got cut from, at the pro level and I had to keep working out, so, that those times, like the one time where I got cut from this team in Salt Lake City, it was just like, it could have crushed me, but it didn't. It's like He just kind of had me. It was like, it's going to be all right. And it was a time where, how when you're going after something, you hooped. So when you're going after, this is like, man, you all in. Yes. So if somebody like, well, okay, we're going to let you go, that got the potential of really just like, man, like you kind of out of it for a minute. But, I just felt His hand on me, and it just allowed me to keep going.
So as your wife was about pouring into herself, what do you do to pour into you? To keep you positive, because yes, God got you. Yeah. But to keep the positivity in you, what do you do to keep that positivity going for you?
Yeah, of course, spending time with Him and praying, but like even on the basketball side, going to games, like, we've been to some Chicago Sky games and stuff like that. That's my atmosphere. Like when I get in there, it's energizing. It's like, man, this is where I belong, So I love doing that. And if it's not doing that, I crank up YouTube University and watch some documentaries about it. You know what I'm saying? Because that keeps me charged because that's my craft. So I love doing it.
That's awesome to hear about. That you're putting in the work, and you find out. And what I really respect right there is when you're not at the games, you're still looking at the games. You still look. It goes to when you want to be an expert, a master at anything. You have to do 10,000 hours to make sure a master. So I know that we got more than 10,000 hours of film. So 10,000 hours of film between film, playing, coaching, owning your own team, now owning your own league. And what made you start your own league?
So me and my wife, I was coaching college basketball. We moved back to the area, moved home 2020. Pandemic started like a week or two after we moved home. So I used to own a pro team from 2013 to 2016. I sold it in 2016. Really didn't want to do it, but that's just kind of where life was going. And so I sold it, went into college coaching. So when we moved back, I never forgot that dream. I'm like, man, that was like out of everything that I was doing in life, when I owned a pro team, that I felt like I was absolutely doing what I was supposed to do. So I never forgot that. So moving back, it was like, okay, 2022 came, people started gathering again. So I was like, okay, so maybe this is my time, because I thought about it during the pandemic, but you got to have some money to really do it like what the NBA did it, where it was a bubble, where no fans.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So that's a nice chunk when you're just getting started. So, you know, you got to depend on, like, you know, your fanfare, your fans in the seats, things like that, as another stream of revenue. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to wait. 2022 came. I was like, man, I started thinking about it. So I started saying, like, what league can I be in? I couldn't really think of a league that I could be in that's like under the NBA and the G League, you know, that lower level, you know, under those levels. And so I was like, why don't I just start my own? Because I've been a part of executive boards for leagues. My first year owning the team, I was executive a year. So I learned so many things. And I was like, you know what? If I could do one team, I could do 4. You know, I was thinking about starting at 4. So we just started on that trek for about a few years. 2022, started thinking about it. 2023, we started hitting the road, visiting cities, talking to mayors, visiting facilities. 2024, we said, you know what? Why not here in the Chicagoland area in Northwest Indiana? There's these different places, and it's basketball. I mean, it's basketball city all over Chicago. You know, definitely in Northwest Indiana, they love their basketball. So we started looking there and found 4 places there. And, you know, that's the rest is history. We just started just working at it, talking with people, booking venues, and just working towards it. And then here we are.
So I'm going to tell you what I heard out of all that, guys. Y'all know what I heard. I heard a plan. I heard that we took opportunity, made a decision. He got clear. I tell everyone, I mean, on Wake Up CEO, the biggest thing is when you're clear, you can empower yourself to do things.
Yeah.
You can't own anything in your life, and let alone owning a whole league, if you don't take the opportunity to take the steps.
Yeah.
So with those steps, I know there were failures. And guys, I know y'all know I don't believe in failures, but I said that for a reason. So did you internalize those as failures, or did you take those as lessons?
I take it from lessons. One of my favorite quotes, there's wins and there's lessons. There's no losses. So yeah, you know, you learn from them. I think that if you look back and you're looking at your failures and your woe is me, like, man, why I do that? You keep beating yourself up. Man, that's only taking the energy that you can be using to go forward. So
I love that.
You know,
love that statement. Love that statement. You guys see, everyone's stealing our words, guys. Y'all know he stole my phrase. No, I should have coined that phrase. I need my royalties. But y'all know I'm about business on here, because I tell everyone, either we winning or we learning. Yeah, there is no losing, because either when you're learning. When you learn from a situation, you're going to win again. Yeah. Because how do you win is by you take that lesson and you implement whatever you learn from that. Because if you take it as a loss, then you're down on it. Yeah. As opposed, which doesn't allow you to learn the lesson that was in there for you. Yes. So I really love that he said it, even though we need our royalties right here on Wake Up CEO for that. I got to make sure we get our royalties for that. We're going to have to get some at the door for that. Okay. Yeah. But at the end of the day, do you feel complete at what does the Lifetime Achievement Award look like to you?
That's a really good one. I do feel complete. When it's something about being able to do something that you love, and then at the same time, there's a part of that that's attached to that has a component of helping people. Because if it's just all about you, there's truly going to be no fulfillment at the end of the day. But it energizes me. You ask my wife, like, sometimes, like, even when I got to be doing things that's like for real responsibilities, I'll be over here on the phone trying to help a player. You know, I love it, because I was that guy that was going after his dream, and I know how hard it was. So when I see these guys, I see them a mile away, because I was that guy. And so that's why I'm passionate about helping them, because a lot of times, a lot of people are not going to help you if you like not top talent, if you just everything going for you. Like, if they see you down, they like, man, a lot of times they probably not going to help you. So it takes a special person to help you when they see you down, or you need an opportunity, or you need an open door. Far as lifetime achievement, I believe for me, it's just all connected to helping people. Like, when I look back, I can see, like, man, I helped this person and they made it here, or I was able to open this door for this guy that helped him to get to a place where now he helps so many people. Like, that's what it's about.
Lewis, one more time. I want y'all to know that Lewis nor Shabria listened to the show before they got here, because part of the show I was explaining to them, when you help one person, that one person helps other people. So my goal of having 5,000 copies allows 25,000 people to get help, because I remember when I just as you just said, when I was making $7 an hour and I couldn't help anyone. When I started making multiple six figures and I grew in those companies, when I grew in those companies, I was able to give salaries of $100,000 to people. And when people walked into my office and we were doing interviews, I'm going to tell you what, this is going to be a real moment, guys. And if any people who ever work with me are on right now, you guys know what I'm talking about. At every company I ever worked for, I raised the bar of our team's pay.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would take all the information, because this is what happens when you become an executive at a company. When you're an executive, you find out to fine tune. You find out, okay, what are they really looking for when they're making a decision on of wages? What are they really deciding on when a company needs growth? You understand that when you're at a higher level. So when I would make proposals to HR to make sure that the next people who came, the next hires, were making this amount of money as opposed to a lower range. There's one young lady who I got her a $22,000 raise. One check. I don't mean she got it over time.
At one time. She was making $47,000 a year. Her counterpart was making $65,000. She found out about it like right before I had just gotten hired. I was there less than a week. I'm looking at everyone's wages. I'm like, what the heck? Why she make so much? She the top star. Why she make so much? Because it was a she, not a he. Nothing personal. She was a she, not a he. So I'm going through all the numbers. I go through everything. So I submitted to the board. This is why these totals need to be here. This is here. This is our production level. Because I could give that information. So I tell people, when you help one person. Now from there, this young lady right now is a manager over at Rush Hospital, making $180,000 a year. So she got, at that point, she got 65. She got an immediate raise for 21,000. It was 21,000. Sorry, it was 21. She got 68. And then when it was time for reevaluation, I gave her $18,000 more raise with a bonus structure that the company didn't have in place. A real bonus structure for leaders, managers, supervisors. I say, when you help one person, because she had 5 kids. So if I help her, that's 6 people who just got help. That's right.
So that's why I love what you just said, because you help that one guy. That one guy's not only is he going to remember that Lewis was like, yes, he said yes to me when everyone was saying no. He's going to internalize, he said yes to me. He's always remember it. And when he helps someone else, because he's going to say just what you just said, someone helped me. That's what you started out this whole conversation with. Someone helped you.
Someone did help me.
And and that is what you're passing on to the next person. I really appreciate you saying that, because that really resonates with me, because I believe that each time you help another individual, you didn't help just them. You help everybody that they touch.
Yes.
So we're doing that. So the Lifetime Achievement Award for you looks like seeing a lot of people help.
A lot of people help. This is with this basketball league, it's, of course, you got players, you see them, they're out front, but it's also the community. When I was in pro sports and I owned a team previous, it was about the families in the community too. One of my favorite stories is my 3rd year. I had this family of 4 where they were like at all my games, all the camps, first 2 years. 3rd year, as a team owner, I was giving calls to season ticket holders like, hey, you guys ready to re-up, and just call and check on them, whatever. He was like, man, I can't. They cut hours at work. I would love to support. I can't. I said, let me call you back. I called the league I was in, asked them would they do some matching donations or whatever. They sent a check to pay for his girls for our basketball camp, basketball certificate. And on our end, we came in and gave them all season tickets for that season. So just something like that for us, we have a few more seats that we can give some season tickets away. But for him, that meant a lot, because he's a working class man that hours got cut, couldn't do it, wish he could, but couldn't, and just trying to take care of his family. So it's about being able to come in alongside of them kind of people that they're helping to build a structure of your community and help them to be able to come out, get their mind off of their job and what they might be going through, and have a good time in our games. So it's about community. And those are my 2 building blocks for this league.
Awesome. So what communities are the 4 leagues in?
So Gary, Indiana, Hammond, Indiana, Valparaiso, and Michigan City. And those are our starting communities. We're looking to build the league by 2030 to 10 teams.
So are some of those teams going to actually be in the Chicago land area? We're not going to just say the Chicago surrounding area. We're going to get to the Chicago land area.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for they said 2030? So what's the plan for the expansion?
Yeah. So we've actually driven and been in a lot of different markets in that 2.5 to 3 hour radius around the Chicagoland area. We've actually looked at places like Joliet, and Chicago has a lot of sports, so you really got to be mindful. Like if you go too far north, you got the Windy City Bulls, so you got to really be strategic where you are. So like that southern area, that south suburb area, that there's some openings there. We've even went further, into Illinois or Rockford areas, and
I was just about to say
like
Rockford because they used to have a team there.
They used to have a CBA team there.
Yeah,
so we've done a lot of homework and a lot of just going around. And so, some of them places, of course, we'll be strategic in where we go first or whatnot, but, really focus into our inaugural season, which kicks off in May of 2026. But this year we're doing our preview weekend that we're going to really kick things off and just celebrate what's to come. So she will be performing at halftime.
Okay. Oh, we have performances going on at halftime. Yeah, guys, I mean, we just got more information in here. Wake Up CEO just got more information for you guys. You got to get locked in. So when are the games that are coming up next? Yep. And where can people get tickets?
Yeah, so we have a huge weekend coming up, July 17th. That Thursday, we're actually going to kick off with a celebration with our players and our sponsors with a big bowling event. And then on Friday, July 18th and Saturday, July 19th, we actually have a game each one of those days at 7 p.m. where we're previewing to our fans and anybody that comes out and enjoys a good time with it, just what the league's going to be about, entertainment in the atmosphere. Players are going to be playing both nights, and we're really just going to have a good time and show you like, hey, this is what's to come next year. And for us, this is a prototype of just showing people like, hey, this is what's here. And we're planning on building this not only to help the players, but also to help the community as well. So those 2 nights, July 18th and 19th, you can get tickets at phahoops.com. That's phahoops.com. It's going to be a great time. And I want to get some tickets away today.
Oh, we got tickets getting away. Hey, I was just about to give away something too, guys. So you're gonna get tickets and you're gonna get a gift. I'm going to be at the game on July 19th.
Let's go.
So on July 19th, I will be in the building. Anyone who watched Wake Up CEO and buys a ticket, please, I'll say this. If you buy a ticket, is there a place where they can put a comment in there?
Yeah, they should be able to put a comment, or they can just go to our website and put contact and then go that way.
Okay, so put Wake Up CEO in there. If you do, you will receive a free copy of #Poverty to Six Figures. Now, you guys, Wake Up CEO, understand what that actually means. This is a lifetime action plan on how to go from wherever you are in life. And remember, poverty is not about money; it's about a mindset of growth. So the book is yours if you buy a ticket. Not the free ticket, guys. You get the free ticket, you don't get the book. I don't know. Y'all know how I am. I might still get a book out. But anyone who buys a ticket to that event and put Wake Up CEO on his site, he gives me that information. I will be at the game with a signed copy of that book that you can come get it from me. Yeah. I will stay in front for half an hour after the game to hand out that book. I want us all to have growth, and I always like to partner with people who are helping individuals grow. That's what we do on Wake Up CEO.
Yes.
So to get the tickets, we're gonna have to make it more difficult. You're gonna have to name the 4 cities that he just stated where he currently has teams. There were 4 cities. So if you name those 4 cities, you have tickets to the game. You can drop it now in the chat if you like, or you can drop it in my inbox afterwards. But you have until the end of the day to get those tickets. And I got to give the book away too. So if you guys make the game and you get those free tickets, you also get a copy of the book. we're looking for success right here on Wake Up CEO. And I like to partner with individuals who are bringing people success.
Yes.
So we got to get to our 3-point play that is powered by Say I'm Possible Academy. And our 3-point play of the day is play 1. Be clear. Know what you're building and why. 2, empowered. Make bold moves, not perfect ones. Play 3, owned. Show up with intention and finish with excellence. And I want you guys to make sure that you stay locked in to Wake Up CEO every Wednesday right here from 3 to 5 on My Radio Chicago. And please take a opportunity to, as we thank our guests, Lewis and Shabria Shines, for joining us right here on Wake Up CEO and dropping information that's going to help you find success. Until next week, I want you guys to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You CEOs. Till next week, right here on Wake Up CEO.
Do you feel stuck? Like your dreams are just out of reach? It's time to change that narrative. Use life's setbacks to fuel the fire within. I'll walk you through the exact steps I took to move from $7 an hour to multiple six-figure success. The roadmap includes practical strategies, real-world mindset shifts, and the habits that help me rise against the odds. Welcome to #Poverty to Six Figures, a journey that goes beyond just financial success. This is about breaking free from the cycle and claiming your desires, transforming your life, unlocking your potential, and finally living the life you deserve. Get your copy today and start your journey towards financial freedom. Are you ready?
6 figures couldn't change my mind.